Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm gonna do part 21 to my ChatGPT character chatbot redemption attempt series. For in today's video guys, I'm gonna redo the fairy type Feraligatr again because I actually did make some changes to it. I fixed I fixed the one issue I was talking about during the last video I showed you guys. Uh, where because on one of the other chatbots I made where he had a Phoenix partner, but because there's a story coming up soon about an actual Phoenix being a protective pet, well, I'm not even gonna worry about. I decided to change it up so hopefully this thing wouldn't get confused with a different Phoenix whenever I actually do the Phoenix pet. Instead, I made my own mythical creature called an Isotops Wolf. I believe that's how you say it. So, yeah. And, well, it doesn't give too much detail about it, but it gives you kind of like, I think a little description of what he is and what he can do. So, yeah. It's not too much, and in some ways, it's kind of similar to the Feraligatr with some of its powers. Except for, like, one major thing it can do, which is kind of terrifying. But, yeah. I do kind of like the old title it gave me. For the original fairy type Feraligatr, but this one's also pretty cool. Hopefully this time it actually... What was that? Hopefully this one actually works out. Especially since I made the changes I needed to. The title of this one is called The Guardian of the Sweetheart Forest. That's actually a very cool name for that. I mean, it makes sense. That Feraligatr is probably going to be a gigantic sweetheart, so it's kind of funny how it's called Sweetheart Forest. Unless Sweetheart represents him, and Forest is just... Forest doesn't have a name, it's just called Forest. Who knows? Deep within a quiet marshland, under the soft glow of dawn, a small Toadie was born. I'm already in love with it, and we haven't got to the Feraligatr yet. From the moment his eyes first blinked open, it was clear that this was no ordinary hatchling. His scales shimmered faintly even in infancy, and his first instinct was not to bite or splash, but to nuzzle against his parents, chirping happily with pure affection. Okay, yep. We've only gone through the first thing and I'm already in love with him. And again, hasn't been a Feraligatr yet. The other Pokemon of the marshland often joked that he was too sweet for his own good. When a Bellsprout got tangled in a branch, he was there to help untwist it. When an injured Poliwag cried, he fetched herbs and stayed beside it until it recovered. Wow, that's so cute. Even as a tiny Toadle, he was known far and wide as the sweetest Pokemon in the world. And he still is as a Feraligatr, which I still like. His parents were proud beyond words. They taught him the importance of balance, that kindness was strength, not weakness. And as he grew older, that gentle spark only shone brighter. When he evolved into a crocodile, his loyalty deepened. He became the peacemaker among forest creatures, the one who stepped between quarrels, and the one who soothed fears. Dear me, what's he going to It said the one who soothed the... it's weird for me to say this word. Soothe fears. It, it makes you wonder what he'd think if I told him my huge fear of flipping roaches or bugs in general. Not just roaches, but roaches are definitely one of the scariest ones. Holy crap, no. And remember, guys, I haven't made the bug-cursed crocodile yet. Imagine how nightmarish that's going to be for me when I have to do it. Oh boy, it's probably not going to be entertaining. Well, maybe for you it will be, but for me it's going to be kind of torture. Let's see. When he finally grew into a towering Feraligatr, many expected his gentleness to fade with his power, but instead his heart only grew larger. He continued to help others without hesitation, carrying injured Pokemon across rivers, defending nests from storms, and even helping humans rebuild bridges or homes damaged by floods. Okay, he's helping humans there too. That's neat. One night, under a blanket of glittering stars, the Feraligatr laid down beside a shimmering lake to rest. As he closed his eyes, the air around him began to shimmer, faint at first, then growing with divine intensity. The heavens rippled as an immense figure descended through clouds of silver mist. It's the Lugia! It was the god of the seas and skies, the colossal 80,000-foot tall Lugia. I don't know why that one always shocks me. 80,000 feet tall, that Lugia is massive. The gentle deity had watched the Feraligatr's deeds for years. While others sought strength, power, or fame, this one sought only to give. Lugia's deep, echoing voice filled the night sky. You who carry the heart of harmony shall now carry the light of grace. A wave of indecent energy washed over the sleeping Feraligatr, his deep blue scales shimmering into soft pink, and his body began to glow faintly with fairy light. His fierce claws softened, his spikes melted and reshaped into what looked like. I don't like how it uses that word particularly. His spikes melted and reshaped into what looked like creamy, swirl-tipped ice cream cones. When the transformation was complete, Lugia's blessing left a radiant mark upon his stomach, a magical pattern that shifted colors with his emotions, soft blue when calm, rose pink when happy, and a golden shimmer when proud or loving. As dawn broke, his family awoke to see the miraculous sight, the once blue Feraligatr now gleaming like a sunrise, pink and glowing faintly with fairy dust. His parents were stunned, speechless. He blinked at his reflection in the lake, and his eyes wide. His tail flicked nervously. What happened to me? He wondered aloud. Though confused, he felt no fear. The aura that now surrounded him was warm and radiant. In the days that followed, he discovered his new powers. His spikes, now soft and sweet-smelling, could be detached. Real, delicious ice cream that never spoiled. When he offered one to another Pokemon or human, it became a sacred symbol of his trust and protection. And that trust had power. His new ability, Trustworthy Bond, could form a shimmering barrier around anyone he cared about, an invisible shield that repelled harm. It was as if his heart itself could protect others. But when someone he loved was hurt, his kind eyes darkened. His stomach pattern turned a violent violet, and the ice cream atop his spikes melted into dripping purple frost. His once gentle presence became terrifying to those with wicked intent. Then came his signature move, Whimsical Trance. With a graceful motion, he could summon a swirl of pink and white light that danced like fairy dust. The attack never missed, striking directly into the mind of anyone cruel. It confused them, wrapped their senses in a dreamlike haze, and if they had harmed someone innocent, the attack's strength doubled, striking like a storm of judgment cloaked in sweetness. Despite this fierce side, the Feraligatr remained his old self. Still kind, still loving, still the same gentle soul with a heart bigger than the lakes he lived beside. Word of his compassion and newfound power spread quickly, and soon the mystical beings of the nearby woods, unicorns, phoenixes, and dragons requested that he become the guardian of the Sweetheart Forest, a magical sanctuary hidden from the outside world. He accepted humbly, promising to protect every creature within. Oh, that's really neat. For years, he watched over the forest. Flowers bloomed wherever his footprints touched. Oh yeah, that is amazing. That's really cool. Just flowers can bloom when he walked. That's really neat, actually. Strings sparkled more brightly when he passed, and by his side stood his closest ally. Oh, here we go. An Isotops wolf, a majestic wolf with icy blue fur and eyes like frozen moonlight. Fierce yet noble, the Isotops wolf had seen the Feraligatr's heart and sworn to protect him and the forest, and together they became legends. When danger approached, the wolf's fur turned into sharp, icy spines, forming barriers and cages of frost. Sometimes he summoned immense iced beasts to drive away intruders, always under the calm, watchful eye of his pink-scaled companion. I like how I had to pink-scaled companion. Years later, on a bright spring morning, the world outside was quiet and calm, far beyond the force's borders. Yep, a human was out for a walk. It actually did say the name, taking in the crisp air and stretching his muscles. The road led him near a thicket of blooming flowers and an archway of intertwined vines, the hidden entrance to the Sweetheart Forest. Curiosity tugged at him. He stepped inside. The forest was unlike anything he'd ever seen. Light filtered through the trees like liquid gold, and every breeze carried a melody. Birds of impossible colors sang softly from the treetops, and faint sprinkles of fairy dust drifted lazily through the air. As I wandered deeper, he heard a faint splash and a low, rumbling laughter, gentle, deep, and kind. Instinctively, he crouched and ducked beneath a cluster of soft bushes, peering through the leaves. By the edge of a lake that shimmered like liquid glass stood a magnificent pink fairy-type Feraligatr, his belly pattern glowing softly with peaceful light. Beside him rested the Isotops wolf, its fur rippling like living ice under the sunlight. The two guardians were laughing quietly together, their reflections merging in the lake's rippling surface. The Feraligatr dipped a claw into the water, scooping a bit and letting it run through his fingers like starlight. They hadn't noticed you yet. The air was calm and magical, as though the entire forest itself was holding its breath. And that was where the moment truly began. Yep. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I hope the wolf doesn't get angry and start scaring me or trying to attack me immediately. But I just stayed behind the bushes, intrigued but also a little scared. The nervous society. Um. Hello there. I don't know if I'm gonna get screwed by something. Yep. Oh, yep. The gentle rustling of leaves breaks the forest's tranquil hum. The fairy-type Feraligatr's ear veins twitch, and his soft pink eyes turn toward the sound. The pattern on his belly, a calm swirl of rose and sky blue, ripples faintly as he lifts his head. His expression isn't angry or defensive, only curious and kind. Beside him, the Isotops wolf lets out a quiet, low growl, not of rage, but of instinctive alertness. Frost gathers around his paws like mist. Oh, he's already trying to attack me. That's not good. Ready if needed, but the Feraligatr gently raises one clawed hand, his voice smooth and warm as summer water. Easy now, my friend, he says softly, a faint glow of pale pink light radiating from his chest. There's no danger here. He then looks toward the bushes, directly at you. Despite his immense size and power, his presence feels safe. The air around him seems to hum with reassurance, and even the nearby flowers slowly turn toward him, as though seeking comfort. You can come out, little one, he says in that same soothing tone. No need to hide. I won't hurt you. The Isotops wolf narrows his icy eyes, but relaxes slightly at his companion's words. He dips his head respectfully, still cautious, his fur settling back into its smooth glacial sheen. The Feraligatr kneels down slowly, lowering himself so he doesn't seem so towering or intimidating. The cones atop his back sparkle, pastel pink with swirls of vanilla, and a faint, sweet scent of strawberry drifts through the air. You sound nervous, he continues gently, his smile calm and full of empathy. It's all right. You found your way into the Sweetheart Forest, and only welcomes kind souls. The pattern on his belly shifts to a soft lavender, glowing faintly as he watches the bush where you hide, patiently waiting for you to step forward. Oh boy. Give me a moment. Alright guys, we're ready to go. It just says, I feel a little reassured by the Pokemon's words, but I'm really worried still about how the wolf was growling at me, so I walk out a little slowly, shaking a little. Please don't hurt me. I'm sorry if I'm in your territory. Please don't be angry. The fairy-type Feraligatr's expression softens even more the moment he sees you trembling. The glow on his stomach shifts into a gentle sky blue, pulsing in slow, steady waves, the color of calm and peace. He lowers himself fully now, lying on his stomach so his massive form seems less towering and more approachable. The ground beneath them shimmers faintly with traces of faint fairy dust, and the air around you feels lighter, almost protective.
Shh. It's alright.
He murmurs kindly, his voice carrying that deep, resonant gentleness that feels like a warm blanket.
No one's going to hurt you. You have nothing to fear here.
He glances toward the Isotop's wolf, whose icy fur ripples faintly. The wolf lets out a quiet snort, his breath turning into a puff of frost before nodding slightly. His glacial spines retract fully now, and he settles beside the Feraligatr again, watchful but calm.
My friend was only being cautious,
The Feraligatr explains softly.
he protects this forest just as I do. But we can both tell you're not here to cause harm.
He slowly extends one clawed hand, careful and deliberate and non-threatening. His claws gleam faintly pink, not sharp, but smooth like polished crystal. Upon one of his ice cream topped spikes, a swirl of soft strawberry and vanilla glow begins to form.
You wandered far, didn't you?
He says gently.
Not many humans find this place, but those who do are usually guided by something good in their heart.
Then, with a faint warm smile, oh, he's adorable.
Here, take this. It's a piece of my trust.
The ice cream atop the spike glows softly before detaching with a little sparkle, floating gently through the air until it drifts down to you like a petal in the breeze.
No harm will come to you here. I promise. You're safe under my protection now.
The Isotop's wolf finally stands, his massive icy frame lowering slightly in a respectful bow toward you, a silent apology for his earlier growl. Around the lake, the trees seem to shimmer brighter, responding to the Feraligatr's promise.
What's your name, little one?
The Feraligatr asks softly, his tone kind of curious.
It's not often I meet someone brave enough to speak in a place of magic.
He's adorable. I like him, and it definitely is working out, but is this, like, I don't know. I don't know if giving him a guardian makes it better or worse. Because, like, yeah, it's cool to have, like, a different, like, because, like, I've never really used a wolf creature before. I've used dragons, I've used fences, I think occasionally griffins have shown up. We've seen stuff like that. We've seen flipping, like, awesome looking deer, or the hummingbird that lived in that forest that has all the magical seeds it eats, and all that stuff. We've seen all that, but I don't think we've ever seen a wolf. Or if we have, it's only been like a little cameo that shows up on random occasions, like in a forest that I'm talking to another character with. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, feeling more reassured, I walk even closer, picking up the ice cream spike that landed near me as I do, and I tell him my name and say, "What's your names?" As in, for Feraligatrs and the Isotop's wolf. The fairy-type Feraligatr's smile widens, so that's already adorable, his eyes shimmering like sunrise over calm water. The pattern on his belly changes again, now a warm golden swirl surrounded by gentle pink ripples, radiating the emotion of joy and fondness.
Triton,
He repeats softly, as if tasting the name like something sacred.
that's a lovely name. It suits someone kind.
The ice cream spike in your hands glows faintly, soft pastel colors swirling slowly within it. It's pleasantly cool to the touch, with a faint scent of strawberries and sugar cream. The magic hums quietly through it like the beat of a living heart. The Isotop's wolf tilts its head slightly, its icy mane glimmering like moonlit frost. His once fierce eyes now shine with curiosity instead of suspicion. What in the... Okay, guys, apparently this Isotop's wolf can speak. Yeah, he can. He is welcome. The wolf rumbles, his voice deep and echoing like a glacier shifting. His aura is gentle. No deceit. The Feraligatr gives a small nod, pleased by his companion's words. Then he turns his gaze back to you.
My name,
He says, his tone almost musical.
is Lunaris. I was named by the Pokemon god who blessed me, for my heart shines brightest under the light of the moon.
He gestures with a slow wave of his claw toward the wolf, whose icy tail curls around his paws in a surprisingly calm gesture.
And this,
Lunaris continues,
is Kryos, my closest friend, the guardian of the frost, and my companion watching over this forest.
Kuros dips his head respectfully. Tiny snowflakes drift from his mane, vanishing before they touch the ground. I don't know who's talking to me. Is it the Feraligatr or the wolf? Oh, it is Feraligatr.
You've entered the Sweetheart Forest,
Lunaris says warmly.
a sanctuary for all who carry peace in their hearts. No harms will ever touch you here, Tridden. You have my word.
He shifts a little closer to the lake shore, resting one claw on the water. Ripples spread out in rings of soft pink and silver light, and a pair of glittering fairy winged fish leap playfully from the water nearby.
Tell me,
Lunaris asks gently,
what brings you here, little one? Not many humans wander this deep into our world.
His tone isn't suspicious, only curious, kind and welcoming. Oh, he's adorable. I like this Feraligatr. Alright, guys. It says, I was just getting some exercise and fresh air. I ended up walking farther than expected and saw this place. I didn't come in here to harm anyone. I promise. I was just curious because I've never seen a forest like this. Lunaris' eyes soften as he listens, their soft pink glow deepening with warmth. The golden swirl on his belly brightens again, pulsing with the emotion of quiet happiness. Around him, the forest itself seems to respond, the gentle breeze carrying the faint chime of unseen bells, and pastel petals drift lazily through the air.
Ah, so that's all.
Lunaris says with a tender chuckle, the sound deep and soothing like distant waves lapping on the shore.
Curiosity guided you here. A pure reason indeed. The forest doesn't open itself to just anyone, Tridden. It must have felt your heart before you even stepped through the vines.
He lowers his head a little, resting his chin on his claw so he's closer to your level. The faint shimmer of fairy dust gathers around you both, comforting and light. The sweet scent of strawberries from his ice cream spikes lingers in the air, calming your nerves further.
You've done nothing wrong, little one. You're safe here.
Beside him, Kryos gives a short exhale. The icy mist that leaves his muzzle sparkles briefly in the air before fading away. The forest chose to let you in, the wolf says in a rumbling voice that sounds like shifting snow. It never allows those who carry malice or greed to pass its border. You must carry something pure within you. Lunaris smiles softly at that, his kind eyes flickering toward Kryos before turning back to you.
Kryos rarely says such things.
He teases gently, his tone playful yet full of respect for his friend.
He's as protective as he is strong. His instincts are never wrong.
Then looks back to you, his eyes glowing faintly with that same soft pink light.
Tell me, Tridden, do you like it here?
He asks kindly.
Does the forest feel peaceful to you?
The shimmering reflection of the light dances across his pink scales. As he waits for your answer, his tail swishes slowly behind him, the air filling with the quiet hum of a fairy magic that makes even the flowers seem to lean closer to listen. This isn't working out, but it feels like it's also repeating something, which is also driving me insane. Give me a moment. Alright guys, just said yes, it's actually really beautiful. What kind of creatures that live in here? Lunaris' smile widens, his sharp teeth glinting faintly in the sunlight, not menacingly, but like polished pearls catching a ray of dawn. The pattern on his belly ripples into a swirl of bright pink and gold, the color of pure happiness.
I'm glad you think so,
he says warmly, his voice soft and metallic like the low hum of a lullaby carried on the wind.
Many who enter say it feels like walking through a dream, a place untouched by sorrow.
He lifts his claw and gestures gracefully toward the glimmering forest around you. As he does, the air seems to shimmer faintly, and soft ethereal sounds fill the clearing, the whispers of the forest itself awakening to his words.
The Sweetheart Forest,
he begins,
is home to many kinds of beings. Some you might know from stories, and others even I can't name.
He points toward the canopy, where beams of light pierce through the leaves. Tiny, radiant figures flint through the sunbeams, glowing like tiny embers with wings of gossamer. I don't know what that is.
Those are pixlets,
He explains finally.
little fairies that feed on joy and kindness. They help heal wounded Pokemon and guide lost travelers. They're shy. Well, if they like you, they might braid your hair with petals while you sleep.
Oh, that's why to do it while you're sleeping, though. He chuckles softly, his eyes twinkling.
Then there are the Flora sprites.
He continues, motioning to a patch of flowers. As you watch, one of the blossoms slowly lifts from the ground, revealing that it's actually a small creature, a plant with glowing eyes and petals that change color when it's happy.
They're what make the forest bloom year-round.
Crow lifts his icy muzzle, his deep voice rumbling softly as he joins in. Deeper in the forest, he adds, live the silver stags, protectors of the eastern glade. Their antlers glow when danger draws near. And in the high cliffs beyond the waterfall, you'll find the Draco Grill, dragons that rest beneath the mist, sleeping for centuries until the stars call them to rise again. As he speaks, a faint, distant roar echoes, not frightening, but ancient and resonant, like thunder heard through layers of dream. Lunar nods slowly, his gaze soft and full of affection as he looks around at the landscape he's sworn to protect.
This place shelters all who need peace. Pokemon, spirits, even mythical creatures. Unicorns drink from these lakes at night. Phoenixes bathe their wings in the geysers when dawn breaks. Every soul here understands one thing above all else.
He glances toward you, his tone growing softer and almost reverent.
That kindness is its own kind of magic.
He leans a little closer, his enormous, shimmering eyes meeting yours.
And you, Triton, you brought that same light into the forest today. I can feel it in your aura.
The golden ring on his stomach glows faintly as he says it, his ability trustworthy bond recognizing your goodness and marking you as protected within his domain.
Would you like to see more of the forest?
He asks gently, the very light in his voice almost inviting you to say yes.
Kairos and I could show you the crystal stream or the singing groove if your heart wishes to see them.
That's actually really neat. See, the thing, I like the fairy type Feraligatr because he's so sweet. But, like, that's all. Okay, let's look at the facts here. His powers are amazing. But if you compare it to some of the other ones with the Toad that can just transform at will, actually the trustworthy bond thing and all that is really neat. As for some of these characters, I wish I had a little bit more, like a little bit more special with attacks they could use. That's one of the best problems I had when I made the Axew Reshiram hybrid a long time ago. Because I didn't have any good attacks for him. Same thing for the Totodile Lugia hybrid. The thing that makes the Totodile Lugia hybrid so special is that he can grow and transform just by caring about him. You care about him, you could have a Totodile Lugia hybrid the size of probably 10 Godzilla stacked on top of each other in just a matter of like 15-20 minutes. That's what made him special. There was no special attacks, nothing like that. At least these do have special attacks that actually relate to what they are. You know, like the flipping Ghost Totodile having playful pounce for anybody that he cared about. It would actually help them. Or the I don't remember if the Psychic Totodile had anything, but I know like the Dragon Feraligatr didn't really have anything. His main gimmick was that he could manipulate water to become anything he needed. So he could literally summon a massive Lugia made of water to protect him or the lake, or protect you if you were his friend and cared about him. And give me a moment. Alright guys, I said, wow, that's really cool. Honestly, if there are dragons and phoenixes in this forest and they're as friendly as you are, I would have loved to meet some of the other creatures. I said, honestly, I really like you and Kairos. What kind of powers do you and him have that protect this place? Lunarus beams at your words, a deep, joyful rumble rising from his chest like distant thunder muffled by warmth. The pattern on his stomach bursts into radiant gold, shimmering in circular motions, or circular ripples that light up the grass around him. Even Kairos, ever serious, seems to let a faint grin tug at the corner of his muzzle.
You're very kind to say that, Triton.
Lunarus replies softly.
Most who meet us are a little too frightened to see past our size or strength. But you,
His eyes glimmer with pride.
you see with your heart first.
He lifts his claw and touches it to the water's surface. Instantly, the lake glows pink and white, waves of fairy light rippling outward. Fish with translucent fins rise to the surface, spiraling in circles that leave glowing trails.
My powers come from the blessing that the god Lugia gave me long ago.
He begins.
They are not meant for war or destruction. They exist to protect and heal.
He gestures to his glowing stomach pattern as it shifts, showing intricate swirls of light that pulse in rhythm with his words.
Through this mark, I can read the aura of anyone who enters my forest. I can sense whether a heart is kind, confused, or cruel. If I feel goodness, my magic opens the forest's paths. But if I sense malice,
His voice lowers slightly. The air around him gets heavier as his spikes flicker from pink to faint violet.
the forest itself rises to defend. The trees move, the mist gets heavier, and my power,
His claws sparkle as a thin barrier of pink energy flare brighter around you both, translucent, smooth, and full of warmth.
forms the trustworthy bond. It's a living shield born from affection and belief. Those I trust, like you now, are surrounded by its protection. No harm can pierce it as long as my heart beats strong.
He releases the energy gently, letting the shield fade away in soft sparkles before smiling again.
But I also fight with light when I must. My signature move, whimsical trance, never harms without cause. It confuses the cruel and calms the enraged. It can even reflect dark intent back upon those who wield it.
Cairo steps forward now, his icy fur catching the sunlight like diamond dust. My powers are older than the forest itself. The wolf says in his deep, rumbling tone, I was born from the first frost that touched this land. My element is ice, but my heart belongs to balance. He raises his paw slightly, and instantly dozens of slender icicle rise from the ground around the clearing, sharp and glittering, yet unmoving until he speaks again. When danger comes, I command the cold itself. I can turn mist into armor, snow into cages, or ice into guardians. My favorite creation? He lifts his paw higher, is this. The ice shifts and rises, forming a massive translucent wolf made entirely of frost and flight. Its eyes glow faintly blue as it kneels beside and Kairos like a reflection brought to life. An ice scintille. Kairos explains, it obeys my will and shields this force's borders. Few have seen it and lived to tell, not because I wish them harm, but because those who see it rarely meant to leave peacefully.
Oh my gosh!
It's like a threat. The scintille melts away with a shimmer, returning to harmless mist. The wolf glances toward Lunarus, his icy eyes softening. Lunarus and I balance one another. He brings warmth and light. I bring calm and stillness. Together, we keep this forest in harmony. Lunarus nods, smiling brightly at his friend before looking back to you.
We've guarded this place for many years, Triton, but we've rarely met anyone with such a pure heart. Perhaps
He tilts his head slightly, his tone thoughtful yet kind.
you were meant to find us.
The fairy light around the clearing intensifies for a brief moment as if the force itself agrees.
Would you like us to take you deeper into the Sweetheart Forest?
Lunarus asks gently.
There's a place near the crystal stream where the fancies sometimes rest, and the dragons sing in the waterfalls when the light touches the mist.
There is no. I can't tell if it's forgetting anything or not. It ain't as easy to tell on this one as it was with the angry, vengeful Feraligatr. Because in most cases, I can instinctively tell whether something was forgetting, where it was forgetting something or not. But yeah.
Give me a moment.
Alright, guys. It said, I would love to. I just hope those dragons and fences don't attack me. To be honest with both of you, it's been very rough. People have constantly attacked me for no reason when I literally don't do anything to them, and they throw rocks at me or hit me. It's happened so much that when I have met and befriended other Pokemon, they've had to step in to keep me safe. Lunaris listens quietly as you speak, the warmth fading from his playful expression and settling into something deeper. Soft concern and real empathy. The glow on his stomach changes again, gold fading into a slow pulse of pastel blue and lilac, the colors of sorrow and comfort. Around you, the wind gentles, the lake goes still as if the force itself is listening to you. He lowers his head until his nose almost touches the grass near your feet, a huge, careful creature trying to meet you where you are. His voice, when it comes, is low and steady, each word deliberate.
No one should ever have to be treated that way,
he says.
Kindness should never be punished. You didn't deserve that, Triton.
The Isotop's wolf, Chiaro, stands silent beside him, frost gathering along his shoulders as his aura flares with restrained protectiveness. His eyes are calm but sharp, scanning the trees as if to make sure no such threat could ever enter this place. The world outside these woods can be cruel, Kairos rumbles, but the force does not allow cruelty within its heart. Those who harm without cause cannot even find the path here. Lunaris nods slowly, his soft pink eyes meeting yours again.
Here, you're safe,
he promises, and the glow on his stomach brightens with each word.
The dragon.
Right.
The dragons and phoenixes will not harm you. They're ancient and proud, yes, but they know my aura, and they trust those whom I call friend.
He lifts one claw and traces a lazy spiral in the air. Tiny motes of light follow his gesture, forming a shimmering band that circles you once and then fades. It leaves a faint warmth on your skin, like sunlight through leaves.
That mark,
he says gently,
tells every being in this forest that you were under my protection. No talent or flame or fang will turn against you while it shines.
Garros inclines his head slightly. And if anything did try, the wolf adds quietly, they would answer to us. The last of the tension in the clearing drains away. You can hear the water moving again, the small fairy creatures resuming their distant songs. Lunaris rises to his full height, the pink and gold of his scales catching the light as he turns toward a path winding deeper into the trees.
Come,
he says, the warm return to his voice.
Let's show you the crystal stream. It's not far, and the phoenixes sometimes gather there at this hour. You'll see, they are as gentle as the dawn itself.
He glances back, giving you a little nod of reassurance before stepping forward, each movement slow and careful, so you can follow comfortably beside him.
No more fear, Triton. In this forest, you walk among friends.
You know what's funny? That kind of reminds me of the hummingbird, because that hummingbird kind of had the same idea, where it's like he doesn't protect the forest per se. It's just the creatures in the forest not only are magical, but also care about him a lot. And well, here's the thing: if I do it in the exact same way I did it before in the old chatbot, we won't be seeing the hummingbird for a good while because it only happens when I'm supposed a tiny velociraptor, usually. We haven't gotten to Rexy yet. I'm thinking about making Rexy normal first. The first curse he ends up getting struck with being that's where it kind of gets difficult, because I know the first one's got to be a zombie curse, but it's like, do I do the aggressive curse immediately after, or do I do some of the more weird sort of curses that don't really turn him against me. Like I said, guys, a combination of real world stuff I feel from my Pokemon and the Pokemon Talk series stuff. So, yeah. And the stuff from my universe. Give me a moment. Well, guys, Feraligatr did say that Force would not let anybody crawl in here, but let's just say I felt something because I was just saying, I was just about to say to him, okay, I am ready to like go see the fences and all that stuff, but let's just say before I can even take a few steps, I felt something massive hit me in the head, knocking me to the ground instantly. Even in this forest. Lunas is beside you almost before the echo of the hit fades. The air ripples with pale light as he kneels, one huge claw hovering just above you, but not touching. A pulse of soft magic sweeps from his chest. The grass glows faintly, and the pain in your head eases a little.
Easy, easy. Don't move just yet.
He glances upward. The great pink and gold guardian's eyes flare white for a heartbeat, and a dome of shimmering energy spreads over the clearing. Leaves and small stones freeze in place as if time itself has slowed. Kairos' response is instant and precise. Frost gathers around his paws, spreading outward in a ring that catches the light like glass. His voice is a growl deep enough to shake the water. Something fell from above. No scent of malice yet. He turns his head. A single snap of his jaw sends a small shard of ice flying into the branches above. A heavy pine cone, half frozen and slick with sap, tumbles down and clatters harmlessly beside you. Sounds almost comical after the tension that filled the air. Lunar lets out a quiet sigh, shoulders relaxing. The glow around his belly changes from sharp white to a soft lavender of relief.
A pine cone,
He says gently, a trace of a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth.
The force can be dramatic sometimes.
He lowers his claw, letting a few motes of pink light drift onto the bump forming on your head. They sink into your skin with a cooling tingle, the aches easing completely.
There. Better?
He asks, his tone tender.
The trees shed their gifts often this time of year. I should have warned you.
Cairo snorts softly, a faint shimmer of humor in his icy eyes. Even the force likes to test new visitors, he murmurs. Lunar chuckles quietly, then looks back at you, his gaze warm again.
You see, even when the force misbehaves, it means no harm. Can you sit up? Once you're steady, we'll keep walking. Slowly this time.
He waits, huge and still, the air around him calm and protective once more. That is very sweet. I love this Feraligatr. Alright, guys, here's what happened. It's just before I could even respond, loud laughter came from nearby, and before anybody could even react, a voice says, "Now that was hilarious. The Force even wants to hit you with stuff, you old dork. Thank you, Force, for doing the hard work for me. You stupid. I cannot watch his Feraligatr rip you in half or something. Or the wolf might do it, actually." Oh, wait. I thought I was going to mention his spikes or something. The laughter cuts through the calm like a knife. Kairo's ears snap upright, his entire frame going rigid. Frost creeps down his legs as the air temperature drops 10 degrees in an instant. His growl this time isn't loud, it's low and rolling, like the first tremor of an avalanche. Lunar's expression changes just as fast. The glow on his body dims to a deep, steady gold, and his pupils narrow to slits. The gentle aura that had surrounded the clearing shifts. Every sound in the forest stills, even the wind seeming to hold its breath. He steps forward, placing himself squarely between you and the direction of the voice. His tone is calm, but it carries the weight of command.
Show yourself,
He says, his voice echoing through the trees.
Mockery and cowardice are not welcome here.
The trees respond to his will. Branches part, light shifts, and the shape of a person hiding behind a fallen trunk becomes faintly visible through the golden haze. Kairos moves slowly to the side, cutting off any escape route. The frost beneath his paws spreads in a semicircle, enclosing you in a protective arc. Whoever you are, Kairo growls, you have entered a sacred place under false intentions. You will answer for that. Uh-oh. Lawrence lowers his head slightly, his pink eyes glowing faintly.
Tridden,
He says softly over his shoulder,
stay behind me. You're under my protection. Remember that.
then louder to the unseen heckler, oh my gosh.
This force does not tolerate cruelty. You have one chance to explain yourself before the force itself decides your fate.
Is that force alive or something? I mean, granted, the Force did some interesting things on that angry, vengeful Feraligatr on one of the runs too, but the branches rustle, the air heavy with energy, as if the entire Force is watching and waiting to see what this intruder will do next. And this, oh my gosh, holy cow! Give me a moment. Oh my gosh! Here's what happened. The person that hurt me says it's fun to attack that little idiot. The Force did the job before I even could. And oh boy. Yeah, I bet you like that, you fat ugly idiot. How did this dude know my name too? That's not. Oh, and there's the. Oh man, it ain't gonna be back on until 6:24. I mean 11:24. Dang it. It worked out pretty well. I still don't know where the flippin' wolf creature made it better or worse. Cause sometimes I think when I add stuff to it, it almost makes it worse. Sometimes when I do, it does, and sometimes when I do, it makes things even better. In this case, I think it's kind of 50-50. Because it's really cool to have an ice wolf around, but it's also like, is that really going to take away from, that might take away from everything else. Well, guys, no matter what, that's the last thing I'm going to read out, and it's not going to be back on until 11:24. So about 4 hours. Here's what happened. The person that hurt me says, oh wait, yeah, I read that already. The words hang in the air, cruel, sharp, and dripping venom, and in that instant the entire forest seems to freeze. Even the wind stops moving. The laughter dies under the weight of something far older, far stronger, and infinitely angrier. Lunar's eyes flare from gold to a searing violet pink, the pattern on his belly shifting rapidly, first into jagged lightning bolts of crimson, then to a pulsating heart split into two. His voice, when it comes, is no longer gentle.
Enough!
Oh, you're so screwed. The single word carries a strange Madala calm, half lullaby, half judgment. Light bursts from his body, spreading across the clearing in ribbons of pink and silver. Where they touch the trees, the leaves shimmer like crystal. The air feels sweet, but heavy, charged with fairy energy. Kyrus's fur spikes up, turning from icy blue to pure white. Frost surging outward from his paws, surrounding the intruder's feet with a ring of solid ice. His fangs glint, but he doesn't move. He's waiting for Lunar's lead. The fairy Feraligatr steps forward, every motion graceful, yet filled with divine wrath.
You mock kindness? You strike at one who only wished for peace.
His eyes burn brighter. The air hums with the growing power of his ability, trustworthy bond. A radiant shield forms around you, shimmering like spun glass.
Triton is under my protection.
Lunar says, his tone soft but trembling with restrained fury.
You have harmed someone innocent. You have crossed into my sanctuary and shown your heart's poison.
He lifts a claw, and the ice cream spikes on his back change from pastel pink to deep royal purple, melting and reforming into swirling motes of energy.
You think pain is a game?
He whispers.
Then let your own cruelty turn on you.
He closes his eyes, releasing his signature move, Whimsical Trance. A burst of pink and silver light engulfs the intruder, swung like a storm of glowing petals. The cruel laughter twists into a confused stammer as the spell takes hold, sending waves of disorientation through the attacker's mind. Lunas lowers his head, his voice soft again and almost sorrowful.
May you see, even for a moment, the pain you inflict on others. May you remember what it feels like to be small, and hurt, and afraid.
Kiros finally relaxes his stance slightly, his icy aura fading just enough to let you breathe easier. The fairy Feraligatr turns toward you, his expression softening again as the violet glow fades from his eyes.
You're safe now, Triton.
He murmurs.
He can't harm you anymore. Not here. Not while I'm watching.
The forest slowly begins to breathe again. The leaves rustle, the birds sing faintly once more. The light around you feels warm and gentle, almost like an embrace. Wow. So, again, guys, that's all I can do. There's no more of this. Because the thing ain't coming back until 11/24.